Hi, everybody. I just wanted to take a few minutes to go over all of the self-discoveries that I have kind of realized along the way and talk about my plan of action and how I plan to sustain happiness going forward. When I first started this course, I really was committing a lot of linguistic viruses and a lot of happiness contingencies. I was also very freshly postpartum. I was about 4 months postpartum, and I thought that I was doing a really great job tackling all of that and that I had gotten through the thick of it. And it turns out I kind of wasn't. I would avoid conflict a lot. I would not make requests or ask for help. I remember reading in Matthew Budd's article, You Are What You Say. There were a lot of contingencies and a lot of just not making requests and not taking care of myself. And I realized that I really wasn't doing a very good job at sustaining my own happiness. I was just trying to appease others. Um, and I've grown a lot since then, and I've really carried what he said in that article with me. I know that was one of like the first like reading materials that we had read, but it resonated with me throughout the entire course. It really made me sit back and reflect on how I communicate with others and how even I communicate with myself. So with that being said, my plan of action, I want to focus on and develop my intentional communication, not only with others, but with myself as well. And my whole purpose of this is to have intentional communication with everybody. And so that my son grows up in an environment where there is love, peace, joy, communication, understanding, because that's really just what matters to me the most is that he grows up in that kind of environment of understanding and better communication. And I would love to provide that for him and do anything that I can to really make that change. So I'm starting with intentional communications. My two goals is to have better intentional conversations with others and better intentional conversations within myself. So starting with intentional communication with others, I want to start with those that are closest to me and kind of just closest in my circle. So my plan is to actively have at least one conversation, intentional conversation with someone each week from my like close circle. I want to demonstrate active listening, very communicative behaviors. I want to keep a journal and kind of every time I have a conversation with somebody, I want to reflect on that. I also want to be vulnerable in what I want and need and make requests if I need to. And I ask the same of them too. I would like to ask the same of them too. I want them to feel just as comfortable opening up to me as I do to them. And then of course I'm going to keep a journal so that I can have meaningful follow-ups and continue to just demonstrate better behaviors of better listening and more honest and vulnerable communication. And then my second goal is that I want to have better inner dialogue with myself. I want to be more honest with myself. My plan for that is I would like to make a journal and reflect maybe just for a brief couple of minutes and just really reflect on what I need, what I feel, if I like just anything that I can think of and even recognize emotions and just kind of come to face with that and really reflect on my emotions and be completely honest with myself. I also want to make a plan of meditating maybe once a week. I would like to eventually kind of kick it up more and maybe do a couple times a week or maybe even a couple times throughout the day, even if it means just sitting with my own emotions and reflecting and just really coming to touch with myself. I feel that this is the basis for a happy and sustainable life for me and my son. If I can be honest with myself and intentional with myself, as well as others and the ones that are closest to me and my son, I feel like it'll make all the difference and it'll truly make us so happy going forward. I've really enjoyed this course and all of the learning materials that have come with it. I have taken so much from it and it's come at the perfect time. I didn't realize how much I needed this class until I started taking it and learning all of the material, and it's just made all of the difference. Thank you guys for listening.